what do you guys think about technology and how rapid it's moving these days? What are your thoughts? I mean, I feel that that's part of what you guys are expressing through your music and your video. So, can you guys get deeper with me on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're very much a technology oriented band. I mean, there's definitely like a fine line when you think of different elements of technology, like when you think of companies that use it for bad things, but I feel like there's also, I think it's something that it's a tool that you can use for good, like it's your choice. If you have the power to utilize technology, you could do great things with it. And for us, like we try to take as much advantage of it as possible. Like like I'm personally like a software engineer as my day job, and so I'm like in technology all the time, and I think it's a great thing and it's super powerful. But it's a tool to be used.
Do you ever get tired of it?
Um, I guess like I need breaks. It's important to have breaks, but I mean, I don't think I'll ever get sick of it. I've always been sort of like a hacker, like growing up, I was just always interested and intrigued, and it turned into like a passion for technology, computer science, and music. It all sort of goes into one thing for me. It's all the same.
Very cool. It keeps it. You guys are so talented, and you manage to keep everything that you do for the most part in-house, in box, however you want to say it. And I think that's amazing. I think that's necessary nowadays.
Yeah.
Because how else is a band supposed to be able to go out there and rise above the challenges that come in this industry, which a lot of people don't realize how many challenges there are. Many challenges.
It's crazy. Like, yeah, you need to have so many skills these days to just even be a band. Like you have to know about technology. If you don't, it's just like it's really hard.
Like, you guys just you're putting out an amazing video, amazing piece of work that you guys worked really hard on. I've got to ask, do you guys feel like people appreciate the work you put into it these days? Do you think that the social media has dumbed down the appreciation for content nowadays, where people invest real time and passion and effort and money into it? Do you think people are appreciating that, or do you think they're just like TikTok mentality where it's like, oh yeah, next one, next video, next?
Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe the answer, because this is a thing. It's like I think we can get trapped in expecting the appreciation to be correlated to the effort, to the time put in, whereas it's more like the content of it. It could take forever to do some small tiny piece of artwork that might be hugely important, or you have somebody who just throws it away and it's like changes the world. It's almost like you never really know, but we don't do it just for the audience. We do it for ourselves, and we do it for our fans. So I think it's all good that way. The appreciation is equal to the effort, because we wouldn't have not done it, because we're just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob,
I will. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You first.
Oh, I bet we're gonna say the same thing.
Okay.
I was gonna say that we also have such an incredible community around us. Like our fans, friends, family. They're so supportive, and yeah, I think that the joy that we get in experiencing the joy that they get is part of what makes it all like come together so beautifully.
Well, everybody knows that you guys are doing something really cool. They can't deny it. You know what I mean? You can say whatever you want. If you're a shit talker, you're going to talk shit. You know what I mean? What's the saying? Haters going to hate. Yeah. I don't really like.
I like the way
saying,
you said it.
But the shit talkers are going to talk shit. So it doesn't matter, because most people, they're envious of things that they cannot reach themselves. And what you guys are doing is a lot of work. It is so much work. It's incredible. And it's so much creativity and so much passion involved I can't give you guys enough credit for the stuff you're doing. So, but at the same time, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that are trying to put out their art, and the cream has to rise above, you know what I mean? And it's hard. You guys have been doing it for a while. Do you have any thoughts on that?
You know, I heard, I don't know the exact quote, but there was an Andy Warhol quote that I like to live by, which is, you make the art, and then while people are still talking about it, you make some more art. And then you just make some more art, and you make, so I try not to put too much stock. Like, I feel like I like to be very present with what we're doing and what we're working on, and then focus on the next thing and let people, you know, enjoy it or not. It's very meaningful when it means something to people. Like, I love the individuals that will reach out and be like, hey, this song was really special to me, and let me tell you why. And that's awesome. You know, those are the moments that really mean a lot. And then, but in the meantime, like, we're already, like, you know, writing the next thing or producing the next thing, or, you know, getting ready for, you know, whatever it is that we're about to put out. And I feel like that's really important, I think, as an artist, just again, going back to the theme of evolution, just to continue just focusing on your own track. You know, we're about to put out a remix album for Electrical. So 6 of our friends did their version of a remix for Electrical, and nobody knew who all was involved. So each person was in their own lane, just focusing on the remix in their own version. It's going to be so fun to, like, reveal all the different ones as we put them out. But even they had no idea, like, who all was involved. So I think that that's kind of an important thing as an artist, just to stay in your lane, you know, and I guess not worry about the comparison aspect too much, you know.
Yeah, that gets to point when you're, you know, like when you get people who are social media people, you know, they start worrying about likes and numbers, and it's like, they'll drive you out of your fucking mind, you know.
Yeah.
To the same credit, like you said with the Warhol quote, is similar. You know, I saw a Dane Cook tweet, and he goes, people always ask me about my success. 5 words: focus on your own shit. Stop worrying about it. Just keep putting shit out there. You'll find it, you know. And it's true. If you put too much thought behind it, you start going, yeah, it's really silly. But if you go, yeah, it's silly, that's why we're doing it, who cares if nobody likes it, man? It's cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you're finding joy along the way while you're doing it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're on the right track.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta ask you guys about Joshua Tree, because you guys have mentioned that a few times, and it seems like it's tying you all together on some level. What's that all about?
So Scott, Gordon, and I, when we first came back from our year-long Mankind is Obsolete tour, had gone out to Joshua Tree, and that's how Gordon came up with the idea for the name Alice. We went out there again in January of 2020, and we wrote 17 songs in 5 days.
Good God.
And yeah, it's very creatively juicy.
Yeah.
But and that's going to be our album, As Above, So Below. So we're going to be putting out the first section this year, and then the next section afterwards. But you know, it's just we just got together, and we were like, wow, 2 to 3 songs sometimes in one day, and it just kept coming out. So we find that when we do, like, things that are in focused efforts, I guess, or focused time chunks, that things tend to come out pretty quickly. So yeah, so and it was
Do
a
you
really
think it's
special
because
time.
of a break? Did you guys need the break? Did you guys need to take a break from reality and a break from the outside world in order to come together and be creative? Is that what went on, or was it something else?
I think that's definitely part of it. And plus, Joshua Tree is just so beautiful. I mean, it's a very quiet place. The desert, you know, the stars, not hearing so much of the city. Just, you know, kind of being in nature. I got to do a hike, which was awesome. And just having kind of some time to think your own thoughts for a second, you know.
I think it was a tiny bit inspired by the fact that we always wanted to record at the Integratron. And I think by renting an Airbnb and setting up our own mics, it was kind of like us making our own little Integratron.
It was awesome. Yeah. It's just a very inspiring place for us. I feel like we're always, like, it's like very magnetizing for us as people. So like whenever we get some time in the future, I'm sure we're gonna go back and do something there. Like there's also, I think, a place in New Mexico that was really similar, you know, like there's just like there's open space, and I feel like that's where we could all come to like create together, you know.
I think too, just to speak to that, folding for helicopter.
This is
Just-
Channel
just-
5 News, hovering
Yes,
high over
just-
Sasha's
just-
house.
Great news. Yes, they're like, oh, we see that tiny dog. It's fantastic. Just to speak to like just being together, like in the same space together. You know, we get, in my opinion, we get to create stuff we love with people we love, and that, like, there's nothing more inspiring than that. And so getting to set aside this time and saying this time, like we were declaring, like this time is a magical time, you know, regardless of what happens before, after, outside, inside, like this time is magic. And I think it's just very inspiring, and I love working with these people. So
Oh, I could feel that one right here. That was good. I could
Sasha's not
feel
getting
that
voted off the island.
one. No, not at all.
Cried. She moved on. Yeah.
no actual crying. There was no crying.